In this video, we do a walk around of my buddy Alan's brand new Chevy Colorado ZR2 Bison. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you've likely seen him out in his second gen Colorado. It was fully built with an Alu-Cab canopy camper, roof rack, snorkel, sliders, all the things. Since the video of us wheeling it in the Ozarks, he sold that truck, bought a new Chevy Colorado ZR2 Bison. Alan has gone full wild with his truck and installed everything from roof racks to lights, some suspension work, interior bits, and an Alu-Cab ModCAP with the family sleeper. We go a little overboard on the walkthrough, so I'm leaving chapters down below. You can skip ahead and see what's important to you, or you can stay along and get all the details that we give you. Thanks for checking out my channel and enjoy the video. What's going on, guys? I'm Justin.
I'm Alan.
And welcome back to the channel. Last time you guys saw this Colorado on the channel, we were cutting a hole in the fender and getting the AEV snorkel installed. And since then, this truck has become a totally different animal. It's got a full touring setup at this point, and I'm forcing him to do a walk around with us today. So we're gonna get inside, check out everything he's done up to this point. And then in the future, we'll get it out on some trails, and I'll make him get this thing scratched up. So, which he's very willing to do right now.
It's brand new. It's brand new.
No. So we'll dive in this thing. We're gonna start probably front to back,
tip to
work
butt,
our way through the outside, front to back, and then we'll get inside to some of the goodies that he's got going on in here, because he's got a lot of cool stuff, a lot of things that you guys are gonna want to see. Alan, you want to take it away from here? What you got going on up front here?
Absolutely, dude. So up front here in the bumper, this is an AEV bumper. It came with the Bison package. And so that's one of the biggest things that drew me to this truck, was the fact that GM out of the box from factory teamed up with AEV, and they gave you this Bison package, which basically includes the front bumper, skid plates, rear bumper, and that sort of thing. But up front here in this front bumper, we have the come up 9.5 sealed winch. I took this winch off of my old truck. You guys saw us use it to do a little recovery in one of Justin's last videos, but it's the exact same winch and it fit without really any issues. The biggest problem or hurdle was finding a place to mount the control box. GM will sell you a 9.5 come up winch, but as an entire kit for about $2,300. I really didn't want to spend that much. That kit does include like a control box relocation and that sort of thing, including all the bracketry, wires, everything that you need for a bolt-on install. Since I didn't want to do that, I had to get creative. And so my button to activate the winch is right here on top of the bumper. You guys can hear that. My clutch is down here, where the GM kit has the clutch handle here. So there are a couple of nuances, right, between the two. But overall, or the bottom line, it's the same 9.5 sealed winch that is a part of the package. And then we also swapped out the factory fog lights, which were kind of useless, to be honest, with these Baja Designs S1s. And we used the Colorado Canyon Enthusiasts fog light bracket. So it's not just a bolt-on install, you do have to have certain brackets and that sort of thing to make that work. So moving on from there, this is the Colorado Canyon Enthusiast Squadron fog light bracket. And then the Squadron Pro in a combo driving lens. I felt the need to give this some proper off-road lighting, but I didn't want to do a light bar, and I didn't want to do ditch lights. Nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to keep this as clean and as streamlined as possible. I feel like the older we get now, you know, we've done the whole light bar thing, big pods in the front of the bumper, you know, ditch lights everywhere, you know, up the wazoo or whatever. I wanted to keep this as streamlined as possible. So these fog light brackets weren't cheap, but it gave me the ability to accomplish what I wanted to do with the front end. If I need more light, you know, I do have a Heretic Studio light bar up on the roof rack, up on my Prinsu roof rack, and that's plenty, honestly. I have it mounted in such a way that I get minimal glare on the hood, so it's not too bad.
Let's talk about one thing here, controversial thing. It's kind of a wannabe Ford. So what is this you did up front here that it's
These are DOT approved lights. The Raptor has lights in the grille. because DOT regulations. So so I could have done them up there on top of the cab, but I chose to mimic a Ford.
I like it. To be an Overlander proper, you need Fjallraven pants and you need Raptor lights. It's just
period.
I can't classify myself as one because I don't have them yet.
Period.
But
you know,
that's part of it. That's part of what you need.
Raptor grill lights on your 80 would look sick. Gross.
Nothing against Raptor lights.
The amount of cringe on your face, yeah. I want it to be extra. There's really no reason for it other than it just looks cool.
Looks cool.
It looks cool. So I added the Factor 55 Ultra Hook to the front of this thing in a nice red to kind of match my flow-through bow tie. Yeah, I think it just matches the front end well. Yeah.
I do like that, you know, you got options here with the Ultra Hook. You got the option to just use the traditional hook, and you also have the option to put a soft shackle on there. So looks cool. Yeah. Really strong. Yeah. Gives you a couple of different options. I think they're great. I would put one on the 80. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
All right, guys. So I basically kept the Switch Pro's SP9000 or SP9100 from my old truck. I basically, before I traded that thing in, I took out as much electrical as I could. So I was able to reuse it on this build. The bracket I have here is from SDHQ, and obviously it's meant for the Switch Pro's SP9100. You can also, from what I remember, you can also use this for Oxbeam, I want to say, and then a couple of other brands. So they do give you multiple hole locations. I think, don't quote me on that. I think it could be just a dedicated Switch Pro bracket, but it's been a while since I ordered it. Right here, and you guys can kind of see it warping. Don't put plastic next to your turbo. It's just made out of it's made out of ABS. To date, you know, as of late 2025, there is no aftermarket yet to put or aftermarket for a tray to mount all your electrical to. So I just made something out of, what is it, like 1/4 inch ABS plastic, and it works just fine outside of it, out of it warping. And then I just made some brackets. I didn't want to drill holes on top of my fuse. I think this is my Mega Fuse terminal block, whatever. And so I was like, all right, I want to do something clean where I can service it, add stuff later. So yeah, but yeah, that's what I have for electrical. This is powering all of our off-road lights as far as the front end of the vehicle. And then I'll show you guys where I have my actual control pad located inside.
He's got an EMP shield here. If you guys want to know more about that, you talk about it on your Instagram, right?
Occasionally, yeah.
Well, if you guys want to know more about that, look at his Instagram, Overland Butte. Bug him about that, slide into his DMs, and he can maybe talk about the EMP shield a little bit more. But I'm not going to put that one on the channel. It's cool, but we're going to leave that one out. You got to go bug him and get on his Instagram.
It's snake oil.
Yeah.
No.
Tinfoil hat stuff.
It's tinfoil hat stuff.
All right, what's next? Installed like a pro.
We have our AEV Snorkel. Obviously this thing, it's more of a raised air intake. And so people will...
You hear a baby crying, I'm sorry. We got a lot of people pretty close to us. So.
Family camp out. This is more of a raised air intake. And so its main job is to give us clean air, right? Not so much for the river crossings, although during the install of this, which if you want to see the install of this, go check out some of his previous videos, because we did a whole video going over the install.
Trials and challenges.
Yeah. But we took extra steps and we sealed around pretty much every joint to make sure that we're getting a pretty watertight seal on the air intake. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that this thing could serve its purpose when doing some creek crossings and that sort of thing. Now, to all the trolls out there, oh, your electronics and all. Yeah, you know what? It is a problem, right? ECUs on modern day vehicles are mounted in not so great locations. And so obviously I'm not looking to float down a river, right? If I get water over my tire, that's probably not the smartest thing, right, to begin with. But in the event that I do have all that, our disc breathers have been raised, our air intake has been raised, and slowly I've been going over all of my electrical connections and just taking the extra steps and putting dielectric grease on the gaskets just to ensure a solid seal. So,
and the Snorkel Some of you have asked in the comments on the install video, does it give you more turbo noise? It certainly does give.
It does.
It's not super loud, but you do notice it. You got to roll the windows down a little bit, I think, unless you're probably driving by yourself.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
When we rolled the windows down and did the first test drive, we definitely heard a little bit more, a little turbo flutter, which is super satisfying.
Oh yeah.
Everybody loves turbo noises.
Oh yeah.
Now, checked out.
What's wrong with you? So for suspension, wheels, and tires, we are running the factory suspension. I haven't really touched anything, to be honest with you. It's still the DSSV Multimatics that are on this thing. Some people don't know kind of what that does. If you're coming from the Toyota world and you're looking at these trucks and you're like, what the hell is DSSV Multimatics? It's basically a spool valve dampener. GM put 3 reservoirs on this shock for cooling, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
The technology comes from the Formula One racing, and GM incorporated it into a lot of their other sports cars. So like the ZL1 Camaro has it. I don't know if the Corvette has it. I want to say that has electronic suspension. But basically it does really well at sensing the road, especially in curves. And what it'll do is it'll stiffen on the side that it's experiencing the body roll, and it just gives you so much control. In an off-road setting, what it'll do too is, in the event of a large jump, it can sense when the suspension is fully drooped, and so what it'll do is it'll make it to where under compression, when you come back down, it stiffens as much as possible to be able to absorb that, right? And so it's cool technology, right? It's all self-contained. It's obviously not bulletproof. Nothing in the world is. The previous generation ZR2s had issues with these things leaking over time, and so I'm hoping I get, a decent amount of life before I have to replace these. Another thing that GM gave us was actual hydraulic bump stops, right? In the event of harsh impacts and bottoming out and that sort of thing, which is pretty cool, right? Yeah. And so to have a basically, I don't want to say bulletproof suspension, but to have a pretty dialed in suspension from factory is pretty sweet. I don't have to really worry about it or touch it. The only thing I may do is throw some iBox springs in there just because I'm carrying a little bit more weight. And it'd be good. Now that I have a custom leaf pack in the rear, the front feels a little soft to me. And so I may throw that iBox spring set on and maybe throw some tie rod sleeves in there. We'll see how far I get in there, but I'm gonna try to leave this as factory as I can for as long as I can. Just because oftentimes, dude, I mean, how many times have we gone into builds and like just wanted to throw the whole catalog at it? Yeah. And for what reason, and then all of a sudden we get noises and squeaks and clunks. So the really good thing about GM's suspension geometry when it comes to the ZR2, it's not like the other trims, right? It's not like the Z71s. It's a lot different. When you step into the ZR2, there is, the control arms are actually stretched out. It's not just a wheel offset like it is in the Tacomas. Sorry, you 4th gen Tacoma guys.
He's gonna take every chance he gets to take a shot at Toyota.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure you guys have seen like how wide the TRD Pro is, and that's just offset. That literally has nothing to do with suspension. Whereas,
keyboard warriors, chime in.
Let's hear it. The ZR2 suspension is just dialed. I would equate it to like a mid-travel setup. Definitely not long travel, but it's definitely better.
It's dialed for about 10,000 miles till you have to get replaced.
We'll see. We'll see.
So wheels and tires. These are factory wheels and tires. This is what came on.
Yep.
On this trim level at least,
yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So AEV wheels.
These are AEV wheels. They are beadlock capable, or you can do a AEV beauty ring, and just throw some extra protection on these things. The tires themselves are a 315 by 70 R17 Toyota. Why aren't you putting 35s in your Tacomas? It's 2025.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say about and Toyota's defense on that one.
Yeah.
they don't like aggressive tires.
Now, I will admit, right, these aren't the best tire, right? For a factory truck, this will get you by, right? If you're one to just buy a vehicle and you want to go off-road and do some stuff, this is a good option. But the minute you throw weight on this, these tires are, they become somewhat of a hazard. And so these are load range C's. Load E tires are definitely in our future. As far as how soon, I have no idea. I'm gonna see how long I can keep these things on until it's time to upgrade. So
are the fender flares this wide on a normal
no
Colorado?
No. So these are
wider for the ZR2
for the Bison. So for the Bison package, guys, you do get the high mark flares from AEV, which allow you to run a 35-inch tire with virtually I think it's like a ½ inch of lift. And so you can really stuff these things. I know a couple of dudes that have been able to run 37s with very minimal cutting. It's actually just this inner fender liner. And so you do get a lot of clearance with these flares.
That's cool. Really good. I like the way they make the truck look.
Yeah, dude, it's cool.
All right, next up, roof rack. Which we got going on here?
So this is a Prinsu roof rack. It's not their heavy duty design. Honestly, if you guys want to do the heavy duty, you know, I have nothing against that. I just think for my needs, I didn't need to go that route. And I also wanted to keep the weight down as much as I could. So, could you put your phone on silent, dude?
My Ring doorbell.
Freaking amateur.
My mom's entering my house.
This is their standard roof rack, and something I found out when ordering, this is actually the same exact design from the 2nd gen Colorado. So if you do have a 2nd gen with one of these, before you trade it in, just make sure you plug the holes, and you can swap over to this truck. You just gotta drill new holes, obviously. So GM still hasn't done anything about that, right? You still have to drill holes, and I think it's 12 in total, which is a lot. It's a lot, yeah. But for us, we knew that we were gonna utilize this front space, especially for our Max Tracks here. It's just a really good spot for us to mount our Max Tracks, as well as a light bar. So we knew we were gonna put some lighting up there. And we also mounted our Midland 6BD antenna to the roof rack as well, just to kind of get, you know, past the roof of the camper.
Is it 6BD or 6DB?
6DB.
6DB.
6DB. DB these nuts. Trying to stay serious, Justin.
Cow patty, dude.
Dude.
There's cow patties everywhere out here. There's mines.
Good grief.
You got a heretic light bar up there?
Yeah, it's very hectic. Heretic. Heretic.
It's heretic.
Heretic. Erectic. Okay. Stop it.
Cool handle.
A cool handle. Eventually I will pull. Eventually I will put some lights in here. These are the Prinsu Ridgeline handles, I think.
Cool name.
I know.
Cool handle.
Ridgeline. I'll put some Baja Design rock lights in there eventually, like I did on the last truck. It's basically like a spitting image of the last truck. It's just newer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, you pretty much carried over all your modifications that you did for that one to this one.
Yeah.
Only it's just on a different truck, really, 100%.
Yeah.
Slightly different tent, which we'll get to that. But no, I think it's very tasteful.
Yeah. One thing I am working on right now, and I'll kind of go into this a little bit more once we start talking about the tent, is some bump stops to limit the travel of the camper, because this bed likes to move a lot. So,
Chevy.
Well, and Tacomas, I don't know. There's a little prototype I'm working, on to kind of limit that travel, and the roof rack so far has been holding up great. I've had these on now for going on 5,000 miles. So, again, prototype. So, if you show any close-ups,
if you want to know more about these, he'll likely talk about them on his Instagram. He does
at some point. Yeah,
he's a big influencer on Instagram, so check him out. Overland Butte. I'll drop the little thingy down here. Down here. No. I'll drop his handle right here. Right there. So you guys can check that out. He does all sorts of stuff on his Instagram about this Chevy.
The Chevy.
The Chevy.
So anyway, all right. That's pretty much it for the roof rack.
Do you need another beer?
Yes, actually.
We're going to top off.
Be back.
All right. If you've watched my channel before, you already know. Oh, I'm not holding it right.
I don't drink this, but...
You already know.
But it's great.
Already know. It's the way to go. Pacifico, reach out. Side steps.
All right, let's talk about the side steps. Now, they're not actual side steps, right? So these are the factory rock sliders, or I shouldn't say rock sliders because they're not frame bolted Yeah, I know. I'm going to hear in the comments, oh, they're not frame bolted.
Chevy and all their wonderful wisdom bolted up rock sliders to the body, which to me sounds like a horrible idea.
And then you know how to make it worse?
How?
By bolting side steps to the bolt-on, to the body-mounted.
Make them even more of a target.
Rock sliders, yeah.
So, Chevy, come on.
These are the body-mounted rock sliders. And then what I did was I added the 589 side steps to them. And the only reason I did that was because I found them on Marketplace for about 200 bucks. And so these things actually retail for about $800.
Ouch.
And they have a lead time of about maybe 2 months. And so the fact that I found them on Marketplace for about 200 bucks, I was sold. And the biggest reason I got these is because we have a 6-year-old and she struggles getting up. She's already fell out of our other vehicle, a GX, once, and she busted her chin pretty good. So I was like, okay, I'll give her a step. These are temporary. Until I can afford some actual rock sliders. I'm just a poser, and so
notice no scratches here.
I'm just a street queen, and so
no, there's some video evidence of him getting out and going. We just haven't planned a trip yet.
We haven't broken this in properly yet. So once I break this or just flat out replace it, then we'll switch up to some actual frame mounted sliders. But for the time being, you know, they do their job. So let's start up here with the Wolfbox. This is the Wolfbox Pro. I don't exactly remember like the part number. The Bison comes with a tire mount in the bed. So they actually give you a full size 35-inch tire with the sensor. Toyota, WTF, bro. And so visibility sucks. And so why GM hasn't included a digital rearview mirror with this truck is beyond me, but you really can't use the factory mirror. So what I did was I threw on a Wolfbox pretty early on in my ownership of the truck. And so that helped a lot. And then once I put the camper on, you know, I added the extension wire and threw the camera out back. So that gives me full visibility and, you know, situational awareness when I'm on the road. So it's you know, it serves its function. It's a solid unit. I don't really have any quirks. Yeah, it's a solid, I would recommend it. This is a bulletproof dash mount with their bulletproof mounts and that sort of thing. And then I just added a quad lock mag mount right there. It serves its purpose. Moving down here, you guys can see this is where I have my Switch Pros switch mount. I like this spot. This bracket in particular is by SDHQ as well. And it's probably one of the cleanest mounts. Some folks like having it in different areas. Some folks will have a bulletproof mount up here so they can activate it. I personally love that it's down here because it gives me easy access. I'm one of those weirdos that likes to hold on to the shifter knob just because I like something to hold as I'm driving.
I bet you do.
Oh yeah. And and it gives me easy access, right? So all my switches. So if I need to activate the fogs, boom. Light bar, boom. So it's easy reach. I don't have to hunt for it.
I like that it keeps it out of the dash.
I do too, man. Yeah.
It keeps your visibility up.
This is our 3rd or 4th vehicle build, and so a lot of the lessons that we've learned, I've applied here. So yeah, I'm looking to make everything as streamlined as possible. This is our Midland MXT 275. I had it on a Knights Steely, but where I put the ball over here, it's not the best location, and it actually peeled in the middle of summer, so I haven't fixed that yet. Works good. I have the main unit mounted under the dash. There's another video by another content creator, Outlandish Overland, that did a whole video where, you know, of him mounting it above the glove box, the actual unit, and then he put a remote line, which is down there. You guys can kind of see that. And then you just plug in via an RJ45 connector here on the PTT, and it works, right? So, and then I have this thing hardwired to a fuse block near the glove box so that if I want to add, accessories in the future, it's easy to just run the wire to the fuse block instead of having to run the wire to the battery. So one of the other things I threw on the truck was this EVC throttle controller. I have always been very hesitant when adding throttle controllers to my vehicles, but after doing my research, this is probably one of the best ones on the market. And I'm not just saying that because it comes out of Australia.
Although most things...
I was going to say, although...
most of the best things come out of Australia.
Yeah, these things have been proven. And so I just love that it gives me the ability to control my throttle on the road. The 2.7 liter does really good at managing the power with all the weight that we have. But I feel like this gives you a little bit more control. It spools the turbo a little bit better. It keeps RPMs where they need to be. And so I don't have any plans to re-gear the truck just yet. So this just gives me the ability, like I said, to really give me more control of the vehicle with the weight in certain situations, whether I'm off-roading, on the highway, trying to pass, oncoming traffic and that sort of thing. So I recommend it.
Give you a quick peek. You guys have probably seen Goose Gear seat deletes before in the past.
It's a modified second generation seat delete. GM in their infinite wisdom decided not to give us a split bench like they did on the previous generation, which sucks absolute ass, right? Sorry, sorry for the kids.
Vanity.
I'm sorry. Yeah, our fridge barely fits back here, and to do a real true seat delete from Goose Gear, because they do have options for the 3rd gen Colorado, I would have to get rid of the bench, and I can't do that because my daughter sits on the other side. So, all right, guys, moving further back now, I get this question a lot. What did you do to the rear suspension to be able to support the weight? And so I left the shocks and stuff alone. All I did was replace the leaf pack with Alcan springs. So I called Alcan and I was like, hey, I'm planning on putting a camper. It weighs this much. And they asked me to go on a cat scale, get those numbers back to them, and then tell them how much weight I was going to add, right? So based on what I told them, which is about 1,300 pounds, and that's just me honestly putting a number on this, as well as maybe carrying e-bikes in the future, made me a custom leaf pack. And so no regrets there. I started with the Alu-Leaf. The Alu-Leaf will not hold the weight of a ModCAP camper. Maybe for a GFC or a Super Pacific, but to do it the right way, and I recommend doing it the right way so that you only have to do it once, get yourself a leaf pack that can support the weight that you're planning on carrying. I went with Alcan because they're an American company out of Colorado, and support American.
All right, so now for this big thing on the rear end of this truck. This is like where the meat and potatoes of this build comes into play. So Alan, what did you do back here to make this like the ultimate tour for you and your family to be able to go cross the country, wherever you want to go, sleep in comfort, have a space to get away?
My biggest priority with this build, right, and it was very much the same with my last build, is to make my family as comfortable as possible. So when you chase that idea, when you chase that endeavor, it usually looks like this, where you throw a bunch of weight on it, right? Unfortunately. And a lot of creature comforts that you normally don't need to get started in overlanding. So a lot of people will ask me, hey, was this necessary? Absolutely not, right? What's necessary are Fjallraven Cab Pro pants and some Blundstone boots. If you don't have that, you're not overlanding.
I'm
okay?
Not qualified to be out here yet. 5-year-old vans.
This is the ModCAP family camper. The fine folks down at CB Adventure Supply helped me put this together. Everything from the ordering process to the installation process, they made everything a breeze.
Okay, so we're gonna do a quick walk around, touching just the high points on the outside of the camper, because there's a lot going on with this thing. We're just gonna kind of go, we're not gonna give a bunch of detail, we're just gonna hit it what it is, and then if you guys have questions about, if you guys want more detail, just chime in the comments, and me and Alan will do the best we can to answer these questions. We got an awning up top.
Yep, we have the Alu-Cab 270-degree shadow awning. Really stout awning. We'll open it up for you guys here in a second.
Can crusher.
The absolutely important and crucial can crusher. If you have a ModCAP or a canopy camper and you don't have this installed somewhere outside of the camper, Derek, I'm talking to you, you better leave this in.
I'll leave it in.
If you don't have this installed, you're doing it wrong and you're not Alu-Cabbing the way you're supposed to.
This thing seems kind of hokey, I will not lie. Like, it seems kind of ridiculous to have a can crusher, but every time that we camp together, I use this thing. I come over and crush my cans. It keeps your trash bag from getting filled as fast. This is actually pretty legit. I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely have one if I had an Alu-Cab camper.
We have our GP Factor propane tank mount. This mount is pretty stellar because here, I'm gonna show you guys real quick.
You guys know it's code, break in.
Don't steal my propane. Pretty cool because in the past with other mounts from other manufacturers, a lot of those are hinged door style, and the problem with that is if you're not prepared to catch the tank, a lot of times your tank will end up on the floor, and that's kind of a steep drop. So with the GP Factor propane mount, you don't have to worry about that anymore. So it's that easy, and then you can lift it up and out. So it's pretty cool. I like it.
But this is plumbed inside to your Dickinson heater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll show that more, but you guys can kind of see it's plumbed inside to the camper where he's got his heater, which again, we'll touch on that here in a minute.
Moving on from there, we have our Baja S2 Sports as chase lights. Moving over here, we have the 813 fabrication camera mount for the Wolfbox. On the door, we have the spare tire and the spare tire mount. And so this is honestly one of the biggest selling points for me, guys, is the fact that I could carry a full-size spare on the back of this camper without having to deal with a tire carrier swing out, right? How many times, I mean, don't get me wrong, tire carriers are cool as crap, right? Cool as crap, wow. Tire carriers are really cool, and they're awesome to have, but they're heavy. You know, it's an extra step when I'm wanting to get in to the back of the vehicle, and I just didn't really care for that. And so, yeah, it's awesome that I have a place to mount that, and it also gave me the ability to run a backpack. And I call it a backpack, not necessarily a trash can, because I put so many things in here. I don't know if they're still making these. I think they're under a different brand now, but this is a Last US Bag Company bag. And I got this back in 2021, and you guys can see it's a little faded now, but it's still going strong. The PVC material is still going strong. The buckles are still going strong. And so for the price that you pay, I think at the time I paid $250. How many trasharoos would I have gone through by now? Probably a handful. So I think it's very worth it. Moving on over here, we have our chimney. Good old chimney right there. Probably the thing I get asked about the most at, you know, gas stations and parking lots. Molly panels, which I had to do a little cutout here for my 35-inch tire. These are designed to fit 33s, and yeah, it just requires a little bit of notching. We do have an ARB air chuck right here, and then we have a pressure water inlet here for our onboard water system. We have our little step, a little side folder step here. Our flipper, I think it's marketed as the flipper. I've had this step for about 2 years now. I think a year? Actually, I think it's been a year. It's pretty stout, yeah.
Last time you put it onto a good little boulder.
Yeah. I think we're ready to go inside.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. In the rear. Now I'm going to show you my casa. So come on in. All right, let's start from the rear, guys. Before I go to open the whole camper, let's talk about the rear door. The biggest reason, or the biggest thing that drew me to this camper in particular over some of the domestic ones, was the fact that you had this included door, right? It gave me a place to mount my spare tire, kind of like what I touched on before. But it also gave me a space to put a table. And flat surfaces, this thing's a little dirty, we cook on it quite often. Flat surfaces are hard to come by, and so having as many flat surfaces as possible in a vehicle build like this is pretty important to us. This is the GP Factor fold down table. This is an option from Alu-Cab USA. And so when you're ordering your camper, you can opt to have this included with your build. Another thing that I put on the rear was these shelves, these cool shelves from 813 Fabrication. I like them because it gives me easy access to cups, my jet boil, right? I don't have to go hunting for that. It's pretty easy to reach. It also, I mounted a Element fire extinguisher here. These are great to have, pretty lightweight, pretty effective. On this side, we have a GP Factor Molly panel, and then I just have the last US Bag Company organization pouch. All right, guys, moving on from there, we have our Goose Gear storage. This is purposely built for this camper. Goose Gear does make interior storages for other camper brands as well as SUVs. A lot of people, if you're in America, I'm pretty sure you've heard of Goose Gear at some point or another. These are about 4 years old now, and they have been bulletproof. There is something to be said about keeping things simple, right? And that's what Goose Gear does. They have probably one of the lightest weight extrusion constructions. I know this is not your typical 80/20.net extrusion. They use some of the lightest stuff out there. Their hinges, their latches, I know these latches are pretty standardized. A lot of different manufacturers use them. Their slides have been great. I really have no anything negative to say about the quality or the material grade of Goose Gear. I'm telling you, this stuff is just rock solid.
So pretty much all the way around you have storage.
And I've made some, I made some modifications to the storage modules, right? So you have the option to utilize the height of the bed. Here I can reach down and grab whatever I have. My thing was, when it came to kitchen, like cooking stoves and that sort of thing, I wanted easier access, so I went on Amazon and I just purchased this cheap boat hatch, right? It's made out of plastic, and all I had to do was Dremel the wood panel insert there, and now I have easier access. You guys can kind of see here, I have a little power strip that's connected straight to our Redarc inverter, and that's kind of a good segue, so we can kind of briefly talk about the electrical. All right, guys, one quick thing before we get to the Redarc system. I know we're gonna get this question in the comments. What floor is this? This is just normal boat decking, right? It's boat deck mat, right? It's a self-adhesive EVA foam flooring that you would put on a pontoon boat or a kayak. I got this at West Marine. There are options on Amazon, but I didn't know if they were going to be quality, so I just went to the West Marine stores and I found this in several different colors. I chose this because it just looks the fanciest, and I'm already here, so might as well get Gucci. On this build, I decided to use the bulkhead of the truck bed as my electrical mounting location. I decided to use this to protect all my electrical. So we'll show you guys here in a little bit. It's going to be a little hard to see, but on the left here we have our Renogy Core Mini Series 300 amp hour battery. So far I really like that thing, especially for the price point. It's pretty much the size of a 100 amp hour battery from like 2-3 years ago, so it fits this place really, really well. So on my little electrical board, which actually was another Goose Gear sleep deck that I didn't need anymore, we have our 2000 watt Redarc inverter right here. You guys can't really see it, but we have a TVMS Rogue from Redarc, and that just allows me to run all of my switches, right? So for example, I have these little companion lights here on the Goose Gear that I've added. These are meant for a boat. Like boat steps and that sort of thing. I added it here because it's a nice ambiance and it's a good way to illuminate at night. Moving on from there, with the TVMS Rogue, it's really cool because it allows me to control everything via my phone. Charger I have feeding everything is the Redarc BCDC Alpha 50R. Really cool stuff.
That's one of the latest in the lineup, right?
Yeah. Does the Manager 30 allow you to backfeed to the starter battery? So
no, it doesn't.
This was the recommended setup for this modern vehicle. So what won me over with the BCDC Alpha 50, not only does it charge at a maximum of 55 amps, it's really fast, by the way, or it's a lot of juice to be able to charge larger batteries like my 300 amp hour battery in pretty good time. You can also backfeed the system. So in the event of your starter battery dying, let's say you've been out for a while or whatever, you start having issues, you can actually jumpstart the starter battery. And I think that is an option or a feature of the Manager 30.
Not the Manager 30.
No. You suck.
Yeah.
Basically, it's really cool because it allows you to do that. It allows you to jumpstart the starter battery from the house battery. On top of that, when you attach solar to it, once the solar finishes charging or topping off your house battery, it will start charging the starter. So it's really cool. I don't really have to mess with anything as far as settings go. It does that automatically. And so you get a lot for that little package. And the form factor, right? The form factor, it's super tiny, super easy to install. Instead of having an MPPT and a BCDC charger or a DC to DC charger, you have everything just kind of wrapped into one.
So does the new BCDC have Sure Power charging?
It does not. So that is one thing it does not have, is Sure Power charging. And
so
that's where
the old school Manager 30.
So the old school Manager 30 does feature that. So you got me there.
Some cool things, but
Shore power is one thing I don't, right? So, which that could be a good thing or a bad thing.
So like Alan, he has solar on the rooftop, which we can talk about in a minute. But so he has solar on the rooftop, so he probably needs Sure Power slightly less than I do.
Right.
And your truck sits outside, right?
All the time.
So his truck is always getting power, whereas mine, I don't have a solar panel hard mounted to the rooftop. When I need, like when I'm out here, I have a portable solar blanket, so I can supplement my power when I'm out here if I'm not moving for very long. But during the week, like when I'm at work, daily driving my 80 series, my Manager, like eventually I don't drive enough to keep topping my battery off. So that's where Sure Power is great with my setup, and where it's essential for me. I can just plug it into my house and top it off, like once a week or so or whatever, when I'm just, commuting around town. Mm-hmm. For him, again, he's got the solar. It's not as applicable for him, doesn't necessarily need it. So you got an inverter, do you have a smart battery monitor?
I do. So with the BCDC Alpha 50, you get an included battery monitor that you can either tie to your phone, right? So like I have the Red Vision screen, which I'll show you guys here. Let me put this back. I like the idea of being able to control things with my phone, but I'm also somewhat analog in the way that I want to be able to control things with a physical switch, or in this case a screen, right? So here I can control the lights. You guys saw me turn those on. My fan circuit, I have the Starlink up on the roof. My inverter, I can turn it on from here. I love that I can also monitor my battery status, and it tells me how many days I have based on what I'm running. Lets me monitor solar and that sort of thing. So I could do all of this from my phone, but just out of pure convenience, I love the fact that I can do this. Yeah, it just gives me the convenience of being able to control that from a physical hard point on the camper, not just my phone. So
now we're about to watch Mr. Allen here open up his fancy Alu-Cab tent, his little mansion on wheels.
This is a good shot of the shadow awning from Alu-Cab. Honestly, guys, this is probably one of my favorite awnings on the market, not just because of the design or the structure of it, but more so because of the materials. So Alu-Cab uses this really cool reflective aluminized fabric that actually reflects sunlight and heat away from the awning, making, would you say it's a pretty noticeable difference in temperature when we're hanging out? Yeah,
I mean, it depends. Like if the sun's beating down on us, it's great. Noticeable difference underneath. But also if you put a propane heater under this thing, and it does help capture the heat in here. So you can notice, like if you walk away when you have a propane fire pit and it's cold, if you walk away from it, you notice a temperature change. Even though it's totally open, just this little bit of reflective material that's on it, it kind of helps bounce the heat and makes it a little bit warmer. It's negligible, but you do notice it.
Yeah. I added some string lights to it, so it's kind of cool. Yeah. Just to kind of set the vibe at camp, you know. And there we go. Pull it a little bit more. There we go.
Funky town.
Funky town.
Ready to party.
Yeah. I love it, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's been a solid awning. My second one. First one did great. Still is going great on Derek's truck. Yeah. Not much else to say other than it's worth the price tag.
The one thing about this awning, I don't know if you guys can see it in the video there, but it's got this little kick up, whatever you call it. Not many awnings have this actually, and this thing is huge. It just kind of helps kick the canvas up, keeps it a little more taut, and then it helps the rainwater shed off this thing a little bit better than others. You'll notice awnings that don't have this, water will pull up in these areas without the arms. It still certainly does it on this one a little bit, but it's not near as bad as the ones that don't have the kick out, which is great.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to take you guys inside and kind of show you around our ModCAP family. All right, so now that we have the camper deployed, you guys can see the inside of the floor of the camper here. So I'm going to crawl on in here. I'm going to push the first sleep deck up, and that gives us access to the sleeping area. Right off the bat, you guys can see there's a giant skylight, right? That is so cool. That is new to Alu-Cab. Because of the wedge style tents that Alu-Cab is known for, it's really hard to put a skylight in something like that. So with this new family camper, Alu-Cab didn't hold back as far as the features on this thing. But one of my favorite ones is having that skylight, because at night we can actually see the stars. During the day or in the morning time, you can get a really cool view of the sunrise and that sort of thing. So there's actually another deck that you can fold up, but for the most part, this deck, this first one usually is the one that stays up. And I'll have Justin come up here with me here in a second. All right, now this is where the magic happens, baby. This is a giant sleeping area, right? So this tent is designed for 4 people. I am 5'10", 5'11" on a good day. And you guys can see, I mean, I would have no problem sleeping in here. We do get some storage organization pouches up here. I do have a 813 fabrication tablet mount up here. Actually, it's for a ram ball. So if I take that off, you guys can see I have a ram ball mounted up there for my tablet mount that you guys saw earlier. There's also USBs in the corner, USB-Cs and that sort of thing. Everything is wired into one harness. And so when you get it in that corner where I have my Red Vision screen mounted, there's just a giant harness with wire leads, and everything is like labeled pretty well actually. So it was pretty easy to wire that up. People are gonna ask what blanket this is or pillows. And so Hest makes great products, and we've been in love with a lot of their products since they came out. We are sponsored by Hest, so realize that there is a relationship there. Take what I say with a grain of salt, right?
I'm not sponsored by Hest, and I have their Hest pillow. I paid full price for it. I love their stuff. I love their mattresses, which is what he's running in here.
A pad.
On the bottom there.
Yeah.
The Alu-Cab mattresses that come in these blow.
Yeah, they're garbage.
Yeah, so the Hest mattress is a huge upgrade for these. I've slept in the old one, I've slept in the Gen 3R Alu-Cab tent, and then I've slept in the old Alu-Cab
mattress. Yeah.
The old Alu-Cab mattress.
Yeah.
And it's like cardboard.
Yeah.
The Hest mattress is awesome. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not sponsored by Hest. So I can say what I want. He does too. Like he's being honest.
Yeah.
The Hest pillow is awesome. I leave it in my swag. It stays in there.
Hest also has like pillow covers for their pillows. So when we get home, we'll just wash this, right? We'll take it off the pillow, wash that instead of the actual pillow cover. This is Hest's duck down blanket. For the most part, this is all we run. We used to have a couple of blankets in our old camper, and that was enough to keep us warm. But for the most part, this duck down blanket from Hess is all we need. Like Justin was saying, I've been experimenting with different pads. You guys can kind of see, we still run the stock Alu-Cab mattress pad in here. This is not as stiff as the Canopy Camper mattress pad was. This is actually a little softer. You guys can kind of see them side by side. The Hess is still a little thicker. I don't know if that's going to translate well on camera or not. This is Hess's foamy short, I want to say. We actually had this as a sleeping pad for our daughter Ellie on the bottom of the Goose Gear before we got the family camper. And so I tried it up here in the specs. I mean, it actually fits the length of the Alu-Cab pad that was here before pretty well. I was still experimenting with it. The camper does close, or the camper lid does close with this blanket and these pillows. So if those of you that are looking into the ModCAP family and are considering or are apprehensive as whether or not you can leave bedding up here, you can. You can see how much space I have back here as a full grown adult. You get this giant window over here, so you know, in the event that it's raining, you still have a way to get airflow through without risking getting the camper wet. We do have a Snorkel fan here. I have it mounted again to this first lid, or the first hatch, but it comes in handy. It's pretty strong for what it is. It's not the most rugged. Some people have issues with these things breaking, things falling off of it, but for, you know, in my experience, these things have been pretty solid.
The camera is not capturing this well either, but there's room to fit probably 3
people,
easy, 3 like grown adults.
Without having this down.
And then you could fit 4 in a pinch adults. You could easily fit 2 adults, husband, wife, and 2 kids. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
3 adults, like 3 grown men up here, could fit and all have plenty of space.
Yeah.
Easy.
Without things getting weird.
Without things getting weird.
Yeah.
Which
I've been there. On our last video, you guys, or on the video in the Ozarks, Gianni and I actually slept in the 2-person canopy camper.
Oh.
Yeah. We got pretty close.
Not jealous. Ton of space though. I can stand up straight right here. So.
How tall are you?
6'5". 6 foot.
6 foot. Which is the second platform here. And actually, when you fold up that second platform, you actually gain a little bit more headspace. That first platform only goes up to a certain height. For you to achieve the full height, you have to do the second platform. Once the second platform is folded up, on the 5-foot bed, it's a little different on the 6-foot bed. On the 5-foot bed, it's pretty flush. The top right here is pretty flush with the water tank, which makes it pretty comfortable to sit here. My point with that is that you get maximum space out of the actual truck bed, right? And one of the things that I really loved about the family camper, once both platforms are folded up, I still have all this room to do so many things, right? I can even sit here while more people sit in the actual truck bed space. But not only that, you can actually still sleep somebody over here, which if it's just me, I leave this folded up and I'm able to comfortably sleep. I have so much room up here. I would equate it to slightly bigger than a twin size mattress. And so having all that room, when I don't have the family with me, I'll have, things set up like my monitor gaming system. I'm sure Justin will throw in a couple of clips of that. But yeah, you just have so much space up here. One of the last things I want to show you guys, and this is one of the coolest things about this camper, is this Dickinson fireplace. If you guys saw the chimney earlier, what it's connected to is this Dickinson SP9000, I want to say. I'm going to light it up for you guys just so you can kind of see what it looks like. So once you get the pilot flame going, you can close this door and you can already hear the flame. Now what it does have inside of it, guys, is a little 12-volt DC computer fan, I want to say. And so I'm going to turn on my little fan switch over here. And you can hear that. That's on high mode. I'm gonna dial that down a little bit. So we've been asked before if this gives off any humidity in the camper like the propane buddy heaters. And the answer is no. A lot of that gets vented out the chimney. The chimney is an intake and an exhaust. So there's 2 pipes in there. And so all you get out here is just dry heat, which is so cool. I mean, it's radiant heat essentially. And so when you crank this up high, there's really no need to be honest with you. I do supplement it with that Snorkel fan up there, and it just helps distribute heat to the whole camper. When we've camped in like 30-degree weather, it keeps it a nice 30+ degrees warmer than ambient. So it's pretty cool, right? So if it is 30 degrees, a little bit less than that, it stays a nice 60 degrees inside the camper. It's not gonna cook you out like a diesel heater will. We love the ambiance. We love the vibe this gives off at night. It's so cool. I mean, there's really nothing like it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this build. Now, inherently with something like this chaotic and like this insane, there's probably going to be stuff that we missed.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions about any of this stuff, you can drop the comments below. He will check the comments as well. I also I screenshot comments that are directed at him, and he'll answer them for you guys. You can also go to his Instagram, again, Overland Butte. I'll put it right here, and ask him directly any questions that you guys have about this, or just check out the content that he has, because he has some stuff about this on there as well. Yeah, really cool build. We have kind of the opposite end of the spectrum from my truck. Neither are wrong. Whatever you want to do to suit your needs, that's totally on you. If you're more touring, overlanding, family focused, then something like this is incredible. It's insane. If you're more wheeling focused, but like to live comfortably and be able to camp out of it, then my 80 is maybe for you. There's no wrong answer here with how you build your truck.
No.
This is an awesome way to do it, if you ask me. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I got. Yeah. So, you got any closing comments?
Don't go bankrupt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, if I could give dad advice, it's so enticing to just go and max out credit cards for stuff like this.
Yeah.
Be smart, guys. I mean, this took me 4 years to kind of plan and build and save up for, and then also I sold my other camper, which funded this, but be responsible.
I'm actually gonna go set my cot up and my ground tent over here. I'm gonna go set that up here in a minute.
While I sleep in this.
While he sleeps in luxury. I may crawl in here later, but we'll see. We'll see how many of these we have. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let us know if you guys have any questions.
Seriously.
Alan, thank you for doing this and showing us around your camper. And we will be filming some trips in the future. Yeah. So if you guys want to see some sick wheeling or just camping, subscribe. We look forward to having you guys as a member of the channel.
Cheers.
Yeah. We're going to go have some more of these, and we're going to stop neglecting our friends that are over there. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching.